What's up, Squadron? Aviation has given me a ton of amazing experiences.
Good job there. Nice rock, high wing.
But more importantly, it's introduced me to a whole new family of friends.
Like, dude, you're killing it. You're having a great day.
So just never give up.
Airport, and then, oh, by the way, I got carb ice while I was flying through, so the engine started running rough, and I had to
Join us tonight as we're cleared direct for some hangar flying. I am Bryon Bowman, and this is SuperAero Live.
That's a lot. I mean, a lot of cookies. What's up, Av Geeks? It's Wednesday. No, it's not. It's Friday, which can only mean one thing. It's Friday, which can only mean one thing. It's time for an episode of SuperAero Live. We're off to a great start. I've missed you all. It's been a few weeks. We were getting ready for a little thing up north in northern Wisconsin. Well, midway up the... oh, it's reversed for you. Up here in Wisconsin. We were up there doing a thing last week. We're going to talk about it a little bit tonight. But yeah, it's been a couple weeks. If you didn't see all the stuff I was making content up at Oshkosh, and it's all on TikTok though. It's all TikTok-y stuff, including a super chat from Nathan Ballard already. Holy moly! Whoa, Nathan, that was insane. I can't believe you did that right off the bat.
Cute.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a live stream.
Does Nathan know about Just Plain
They
Wow?
can't see us. They can just hear us. It's awkward.
Our guests are excited. I should bring them on the screen. But I normally say hi to people in the chat. You guys just calm yourselves for a minute. Ahmed Lamborghini is here. How is the SuperAero family aroused? Maybe. Plane Lady's here. Sierra's here. Oh, Sierra, come on this show, Sierra. I need you on this show. We got to talk about all your epic adventures. That would be awesome.
Fire pilot.
Fire pilots.
We don't know how to green room.
Yeah, you guys are not a green room. Ken Dodson's here. Bearded Aviator's here. Scrolling through. Jonathan Christman's here.
Of course.
Grace Dempsey's here. I don't know. That's a new name. Welcome, Grace. Sierra says, waiting for Godot or SuperAero. That is funny because I was a theater kid. I get that joke. Fly, Chucky, fly. Wolf Pilot's here. Scrolling. Some guy named Just Plain Silly is asking someone to hit the play button. Bud McDonald. I'm just scrolling. There are a lot of great people in the chat, and I'm really excited to introduce our guests. Gravity Images is here. He took the best picture of me again at Oshkosh. Mr. Nick Moore, photographer. Speaking of photographer... Okay, normally there's a little bit of a tease, Eric, and then people just Eric's here. Normally there's a little bit of a tease.
Who's what? Oh, are you looking at Eric?
Well, I was pretending to look at Eric. He's not really here.
Oh, there he is.
You guys are not. You're in the same state, but you're not. Wow.
We're about 15 minutes away from each other.
Yeah. If we talk loud enough. What's going on, guys?
Are we doing high fives? Wait, no, seriously, now, Brian, you have to do me, and then you have to also do Aaron, and then Aaron's got to do Eric. I don't know. This is mayhem.
It's like a first Zoom meeting.
This is mayhem. Absolute mayhem.
Is this what you do on this channel, Ryan? Because
it's all we do.
This is 100%. This is exactly what everyone came to see.
I'm gonna go get something. I'll be right back. Y'all keep on going.
You know what? I gotta get something too. Ryan, do you need to go get something?
All right. Sorry. I gotta take care of. Someone's talking about conspiracy theories in the chat. Sorry. Bye. Banned. Okay. So anyway, how's everybody else doing? That's weird. I never had anything like that in the chat before. Man, Oshkosh happened. That was a thing. Did I even say who's here? Look, it's Brian and Aaron are here. Eric Eric is not here. He does that sometimes. Here, wait, let's just do this. Guys, how was your week? How you been? What's new?
Erin went to her first Oshkosh. Are we jumping right into Oshkosh talk?
Yeah, let's just jump right in.
Okay.
What you want to know about Oshkosh?
I would love to know how it was.
It was awesome. This was number 6, I believe, for me. And I've already booked a hotel for next year, not even kidding.
Really? You got it like all set to go?
I did. I was like, I did. What happened?
Well, he booked a hotel, and he was like, I got a hotel for $700 for the whole week. What a steal.
And then
he called and checked, and he had booked the week before Oshkosh.
that's why it was only
Oh,
$700.
no.
But thankfully, we found that out now and not.
Because I know a guy who went to Oshkosh this year and booked a hotel a week early and didn't find out until we were checking in. Eric, are you there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I went and got a bit of light. So.
Oh, wow.
Better.
A what?
Very pretty.
Yeah, you look really sexy now.
Yeah, baby.
Eric, you have some experience with booking the wrong week for a hotel. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so we get to the Roach No-Till Motel, and
Wait, there we go.
The all
Wait,
season.
you're not Eric. Wait, I got to get Eric on here. There we go.
There
All right.
That's the one.
So we show up at the motel, and Christy, Kevin, myself, and Bryon, and we pull up, and even the tram guy was like making jokes as far as you know what kind of place it was. So we're like, well, this is kind of sketchy as hell. So we show up, and we make Bryon check in first so we can go check out his room. And then we were going to decide, and it really wasn't that bad. I decided pretty quick. I was staying. I mean, I was on a budget as well, and the rooms weren't really all that bad. But it was fun when we first pulled up into the. Oh, I was getting off topic. Yeah, I booked it for a week later, and after Christy and Kevin committed, then the lady that one of the owners of the hotel came back to I'd already checked. Put all my stuff in my room, and I was back in Bryan's room, and the lady goes, "I there's a problem," and I go, "What?" She goes, you booked it for the wrong day," and we got it fixed pretty quick, but it was it was a little snafu there for a second. But when we first pulled up, had all of us on this trolley going in there, and they had one of the AC units sitting outside the office on this little roller cart thing. And Sean with Fire Pilot, he goes, well, looky there. Someone just got them a brand new air conditioning unit. I mean, they had it sitting outside to thaw out or something like that. It was, but it's just it added to the ambiance of the whole thing, if you will.
So that's an adventure and a half. That's just when you're just getting started.
It was not a bad hotel. So I am cheap. And this is a hobby, and it's an expensive hobby, so I do it as cheap as I can because some people don't want me to spend a whole lot of money on the hobby. So I just went to the Whiteside Rock Falls and sorted by price, and the cheapest hotel. And I'm like, whatever. I have a tent. If I have to sleep in the parking lot, I can do that. But these guys weren't like, hey, what's the hotel situation? I just said, here's where I'm staying, and so they booked rooms. And then they're like, we're not doing anything until we see your room. And like we walk up to my door, and there's like a hole in it, like it looks like an axe, kind of damaged it or whatever. And the very first thing the guy said when I checked in, he's like, you have a jacuzzi in your room. And I was like, great. He goes, don't use it. I was like, okay. But the thing is, for, I don't know, was it $60, $70? It was a $60 or $70 motel room. It was fine. But
Tonight on Hotel Reviews with Bryon, Aaron, and Eric.
I did not go. I was not staying there.
Oh yeah, if we go back and she comes, we'll stay at wherever Sierra and Fire Pilot and those rich folks stayed.
Or you could stay with me in the campsite.
That'd be cool.
So there's a question I have. You live basically on the campground. You basically live in Oshkosh. Why are we all paying for hotels instead of just giving you a case of beer and staying at your place?
Because my place is still like too far to come in every day. It's like an hour and a half away.
Is there a hole in the door? Like how big could it be? It's got to be better than the place.
Well, there is no hole in the door. Okay, let's take a step back.
Do you charge per hour like this motel did, or?
If during Oshkosh, I might. So, okay, let's take a step back. For people who don't know what we're talking about, and I want to focus it up, folks. So people don't know what we're talking about. Last week, biggest air show in the world happened in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. World's busiest control tower that week. Lots of exciting things happen. All these pilots and avgeeks descend on Oshkosh, Wisconsin. The numbers came out, like 600,000 people or something like that came. I don't even remember. I should probably pull it up. That would be better for the TV. I feel embarrassed. We're really like professional tonight, and we've got Dan from Taking Off is in the chat. We've got like real pro people in the chat, and we're just going. No, I'm ignoring you. So so that's what we're talking about. If you're new here, that's what we're talking about. Big air show up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin, and the purpose of tonight's show, besides giving you hotel reviews, is to debrief on what an amazing experience it was. That's the pro intro that I meant to do, but didn't do, because we can't not laugh together, the four of us. So anyway.
It was 650,000 people, but here's the caveat. My understanding is if you're there 3 days, that's 3 visits. So the real numbers kind of, someone go verify that, but I've heard that for years now, that it's always number of days purchased on a wristband type of thing. So someone go confirm that, and someone in the chat will know. But that's my understanding. And
in the chat, Jeff Jensen in the chat is saying 10,000 planes this year.
One of those
That's what they say every year. Really? 10,000, but that's about what they say every year, though, right?
Yeah, give or take. Yeah, I mean, I know that there were a lot of times where they couldn't.
It was big.
It felt big this year. It felt like, I think last year people were still coming out of the COVID.
Yeah.
Like, is it safe?
I was not as impressed last year as I was when I went this year.
So how many times have you been?
I've only been this year.
Oh, okay.
So here's what let's start everyone, if you have questions, and the chat is full tonight, but if you have questions for
I heard you had to kick someone out already.
What?
Yeah, just the one person, it's fine. If you have questions though, feel free to ask us questions, and we can answer them if they're good questions. I will. Well, you guys think. Here's what I wanted to ask you. I wanted to start let's hit it hard. I'm going to give you a minute to think about your answers to this. What was your top thing? Let's go heavy. What was the top thing you saw? And then you guys sent some photos, and we want to go through those too. But so think about what your top thing at AirVenture was. While you do that, I will brag about mine, because I had a pretty cool week. I actually got hired by EAA Editorial to go take over this thing called Plane Talk that's been going on for 20 years. This guy named Jerry Burke, who's been on Boeing Plaza with these audio carts, these great guys, Ben and Eric, in these giant Bose ATVs, and I got to interview people and learn how to do that, and it sounds like I'm going to be doing that again next year, so that was pretty cool. At the end of the week, I was able to interview the commander of the F-35 training squadron for the Navy. And there was a funny moment. He, as you know, F-35, very stealthy, secret thing. They have all the MPs walking around with their guns, protecting the plane. And he went under. He went under the rope, to go by the plane to do the interview. And then he turned around and he said, "You coming?" And I said, "Do I have your permission?" And he said, "Oh, that's fair. Yes, you may come." I'm not going across that line, dude. I'm just
that reminds me when in Tyler 2 years ago when I shot the walk around for it, they said you can't get closer than 25 feet. So we go out there, and then they say, the rope. They go, yeah, just to go inside the rope. And I was like, look, I'm glad to be here, and I'm thankful for whatever I get, but that's a lot more. That's about twice as far. And the guy, lieutenant, goes, "Sergeant, walk it off." And he marched it off, and he goes, "He's right. It's 50 feet." He goes, "Okay, hop on over the rope." But yeah, same thing. I was just like, I'm not unless you give me the blessing, I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I do not want to be ventilated. That's the thing.
Or violated.
Yeah, either or. So some people in the chat answered that question. We're never going to let you guys answer. Tyler Russell says his favorite thing was the Meg 29, seeing the Eb 29. Plain Lady said seeing the U2. I actually slept through the U2 because I had my cornea scratched, so I had to sleep that off. And Nate Hammond's new night show performance. I was Plain Lady. Who else is in the chat here? Oh, Josh Sinclair is talking about the RV-15. That's the thing I was going to talk about a little bit later, but yeah, that's a big highlight. Let's see. Oh, Dan Milliken with the actual reporting, because he's a professional, says attendance approximately 650,000. Record total previous was 642 in 2019 pre-COVID, so it's 7% above 2021's attendance.
I thought it felt big.
It felt like 7%.
It
higher
It
than
definitely
I
felt
expected.
7% bigger.
It's only because they knew Aaron was going to be there.
Well,
Right.
I'm a full 7% right here. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, and then more from my producer in the chat. Producer Dan says more than 10,000 aircraft arrived at Women Regional Airport in Oshkosh and other airports in east central Wisconsin.
Wow.
What you mentioned the U2, I was shooting the B-25 walk around with Miss Mitchell, and the U2 was doing its thing, and it's the U2, so it's impossible to run a camera and not go like this the whole time. Just watching that thing fly around.
Dude, the U2, yeah, I wish I would have seen that. Jonathan Christman says his favorite was seeing the Sky Fam, all of the SuperAero family. That's awesome. And I was gonna say that it was my actual like, the gig was cool, but my actual favorite thing was hanging out with you guys and all the other great people we met. We collaboratively met a lot of people this year. That young couple with the Cessna 150, the shiniest 150 in the world. Got to be fire pilot.
I'll say it's kind of hard to put my finger on what my favorite part of AirVenture was this year. But this got on canvas pretty quick.
Our family photos have never been put into a canvas this fast.
Now the question is, are you going to sign your own photo?
Do you want a copy? I will.
I do. I was there.
These will be for sale in his shop.
In my shop, along with mediocre quality T-shirts. I agree with Ryan. Two things. It's kind of feels cliche to say, but the people. It really the first time I went to Oshkosh, I was watching an interview with Josh Flowers, and I heard him say something that sounded cheesy to me at the time. He's like, "Oh, Oshkosh is like a family reunion," and I was like, "That's what you're supposed to say." It is. There's so many people I only get to see at AirVenture, and it's like, Ryan, I've seen you three times in my life. The Lone Star Stoll, and then last year at Oshkosh, and this year at Oshkosh. And I think we're working really hard to move closer together in the country because you and I are best friend material. Eric, you're best friend material too. You know that.
But you're
You're already here. You're going to have to.
Yeah. So actually, what needs to happen is that you and Eric need to move closer, and
you can keep that place in the wintertime, man. That's
well, this could be your summer home.
We'll rent an apartment.
That's not bad. Yeah.
So the people were really, really cool. I mean, literally just seeing. I could go through a list of names. Mainly everybody we were hanging out with at SOS every night was awesome. And then for me, this was her first time, and so there was this whole okay, the very first 2 days I was there, it was me and Eric, and just it's all business. And then the next 2 days, it was I need Aaron to be yeah, we can go back. And so I was okay, I want to do things that are kind of memorable events versus me just shooting the breeze with a bunch of pilots, because I know she's got a limit. It's 2 hours. And she's I have 2 hours I can just do pilot talk. And there's got to be something else. And so I was very happy when we got home that she was okay, what's the plan for next year? And I was that's good. So my takeaway is that you enjoyed it.
I did. I had a good time. There was a whole lot of walking, a whole lot of porta potties, which are not my favorite.
But, no one likes that.
But the whole experience, I really enjoyed it. First time to Wisconsin. It's beautiful.
Lots of cheese.
It's
a lot.
I'll let Eric talk about his love of cheese curds. But I am a fan of cheese, and so I did enjoy that. But yes, I had a good time, and it was really fun for me because it felt, he denies this, but everyone I came across that knows Bryon is like, "Are you having a good time, Aaron? Like, are we like, what do you?" Even you, Ryan, you're like, what are you wanting, Aaron? Like, what can I show you so you'll enjoy this?" And I'm like, Bryan's gonna come back either way. If I was like, "This sucks," then,
I think I said, "Let me be your
Doula.
AirVenture
and you were on the
doula,"
AirVenture doula, which is
and then I failed miserably at that. But
I don't know that I birthed anything, but I did enjoy my time at AirVenture. So,
Sorry, we have a friend.
and we have Tiger. It's his treat time.
But
Hey,
so
Tiger.
it's 100% about the people, and I don't. I mean,
I wasn't done.
oh, I'm sorry.
I wasn't
Not all. I mean, tell me more.
But that was my thing too. Like, I'm sitting here going, "Oh crap! What was my favorite part?" Absolutely the people. Like all these people that I've heard about or seen in Bryon's videos, and to get to meet them in person, and like you, Ryan, and Martin Pauly, all the Padies, all these people, Josh Flowers and stuff. That it's like, oh, and they're just as nice and just as welcoming as they seem, in video. And so that was really cool. And then running into people that, like Bryon and I are sitting at SOS eating dinner, and he's like, "That guy's got my shirt on," and so like we went over and like met this guy that was wearing.
It was Jason Follas who was in the
There we
chat.
go. Oh, look at that! Hi, Jason. So him and his wife, who were very nice. I mean, and the thing is, like the people that follow Bryon's channel, but even that same time at SOS, were sitting at a table with this other couple. They just drove in for the day. Like just everybody at Oshkosh was so nice. Like we chatted with some people that don't fly, but they just came up for the day. And, it just is such a good environment. And, we're not people that just talk to random
We
strangers.
really don't like people.
I wouldn't say that because it sounds bad.
It does
but
sound bad, but we're here on a Friday night because this is what we would be doing on a Friday night. We're not
So
a socialist.
I'd be sitting back there watching fruit crunch.
We're not super social people for real, and I would say the majority of my friends are not local. And so at Oshkosh, you probably saw me with more friends than you've ever seen me with in 10 years.
More or less, yeah. And I was saying that, like Ryan, like Eric. Thankfully, Eric's local, but Ryan is. So, like, I was like, "Oh, I'm so glad Bryon has you. It sucks that you're across the country, but it is what it is." And that is one of the greatest things about this hobby is distance isn't as big of a issue.
right.
You can go and see them, and
Most of the people in this hobby have the tools to close the gap. So,
Unless you fly a Piper
That's
Cub,
better than me. Thank you.
yeah.
then you do not. I don't want to keep. I got a couple questions for you guys real quick, and then Eric, we got to go to your kind of favorite stuff.
Sure.
One was Sierra wants to know if you're selling those prints, those canvas prints.
dot.
Are you selling those,
sell
Bryon?
one. I will tell you. I'll sell you one. I'll Photoshop your own aircraft on the green dot, like I did. I mean, funny story about. So I follow Sierra. I followed her for a long time. Her first words to me at Whiteside Airport, I love just the gall. She just walked right up to me and I go, "Hey, I'm Bryon." And she goes, "What would possess you to purchase that shirt?" I was wearing like the Brady Bunch dad Hawaiian shirt, which I bought in Hawaii. It was like a sweat wicking shirt, and it was a long flight. And like as soon as she said that, I was like, I am gonna like this person a whole lot.
Yeah, and he'll probably never wear the shirt again.
No. It's gonna
But
get
if
burned.
I said that, then I would have been rude. But apparently, you get.
I
to
mean,
wear.
Sierra, don't judge my wardrobe then. Okay, more questions. Dan's got a good. Dan from Taking Off's got a good. I want to know Aaron's real take. How long is your limit now, Aaron?
Meaning limit for what?
Airplane limit.
Oh, that's part of why I sleep in the plane.
She flew Delta. She didn't
Oh.
fly Delta.
I think he means like you said, Bryon. You said like there was like the 2 hour like I got about 2 hours of mucking around with
Listening to
airplanes.
pilots babble about planes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I enjoyed that. And even Ryan and a couple other people are like, what are you here to see? And I'm like, I'm just like, this is Bryan's thing, and I'm here to watch Bryan in his element. Like, really, like, I don't know if that sounds cheesy or whatever, but it's fun to watch Bryan do his thing.
Even right now, she's checked out. She just wants to go do the puzzle. She's already, this is enough. This is enough.
Once it goes to Eric, I'm out. No, I enjoy, like, I could handle at least 3 days probably, especially if we have a hotel room.
I got the hotel for 5 nights next year, so you tell me what days you want to.
Okay, well, we'll discuss later.
Yeah. That conversation doesn't involve all y'all. I mean, good. What days do you
I would definitely want to go back. Nice. For sure. You're welcome.
Okay, very good. Eric.
You're welcome.
Oh wait, can I tell? I'm just gonna keep pushing Eric back more. Can I tell a funny story though? I think it's funny. Can I tell the story about the Black Hawk helicopter?
We
funny?
almost wore the shirts.
And that's what I was gonna say was my favorite thing, and then I forgot. Was gonna be.
I
This
haven't
is
heard
going to
about
make
this.
me like such an idiot, but yes, go ahead. And Eric,
No.
I apologize.
No, we'll get to. No, right. Eric's gonna get his moment to shine.
Well, I'm apologizing for Eric because he probably would love to sit in a Black Hawk helicopter.
Oh, so okay. So here's the story.
I've actually flown in one, but
He's fine. Eric's fine. So here's the story. Here's the quick story. The story is we were walking together. The three of us were. You guys had just gotten there, and I managed to be free from work stuff. And we were walking together, and we walked past this Black Hawk helicopter, and this guy, the captain, or I don't know what rank. I don't remember what rank he was. He's from Wisconsin though, and he's been in the chat a couple times. So if I say hello if you're in the chat tonight,
Very
super
nice
great,
guy.
super great. Runs up to Bryan, is like, "Oh, I love your stuff. I love your videos. Whatever. Like, come on, like, check out the helicopter." And I was like standing there, and I was like, and he's like, "Oh, hey, you're that guy that like does the announcing at the Timmerman Airport thing." And I was like, "Oh, you're local?" And he's like, "Yeah." Like I was like, he knew me too. And I was like, "Oh, cool, he knows me too."
that's cool.
So we're not even there yet, Eric. We're only a third of the way into the story. So then Bryan, he's like, "Come on, Bryan, like, hop in the chopper." And Bryan's kind of like, "I don't really want to hop in the chopper." And I'm like, "Come on, Bryan!" And I like push him in. Literally push him into the pilot's seat of this Black Hawk, and then like Bryan does the thing, and he's like learning about the helicopter or whatever, and Aaron and I are talking, and then Bryan gets out of the helicopter, and and I'm like, "This is awesome. It's gonna be my turn." And the guy says, "Thanks so much, guys. See you later." And I'm like, "Oh,
Oh man!"
like,
Oh, that
like
sucks.
Bryan, like I'm not Bryan Turner famous, but also like I realized in like forcing you to do it, like I put you into this uncomfortable situation that you were not super into. And there you go. There he is in the Black Hawk.
There he is. Very cool.
And
He goes, "Should I not have made him do? Like, is he okay with this?" And I was like, "No, totally uncomfortable, but it's okay."
It's part of like I'm not even joking. I'm not antisocial, but I do have like social anxiety. And then I'm very cognizant of the fact that we had just landed. My biggest concern is like I need Aaron to be having a good time, and like
Yep.
now I'm learning about Blackhawks, and I'm looking over and like, is she just over here going, "Why did I come to Wisconsin?"
No, because I'm hanging out with Ryan. He's telling me he's a doula.
But
my
my anxiety was like at a 10. And I'm just sitting there going like, I've got to make this guy happy. I've got to make her. I've got to make everybody happy.
Gotta make
And
Ryan happy. Yeah.
I'm not going to walk away like knowing how to fly this helicopter. Like I'm like I'm out of control. I just for no reason at all, my stress level was super high. So, but the guy was awesome, and he gave us these
sweet.
these shirts that have the Black Hawk helicopter. And so Aaron and I got together, and we took this like the most depressed face we could ever look with these Black Hawk shirts on, and just sent it to Ryan and be like, "Thanks again."
But he gave us shirts. It was great. It was super, super cool.
Oh, it was good. I worry about everything. That's my
No, he
most people
was
don't
great.
understand it.
I just thought it was funny that I was like, I'm gonna sit a Black Hawk. No, But no, if you're there in the chat, for we did all jokes aside, because now he's probably in the chat feeling bad. And I can't remember his name, Captain, Major, Lieutenant, whoever you are.
Hey, and Ryan, don't tell anyone. Next year, if you want to get in the Blackhawk, I can probably get you in. I know a guy.
Here's what's going to happen, though. He said maybe he could bring the Blackhawks to my local airport as like a static display when we do some events, and so that's what we're going to do.
You're not getting in, dude.
No, he'll be like
Not
that.
without this guy.
He's going to land it. He's going to be a total bro, and he's going to bring these Blackhawks all the way down so everyone can look at him, and then I'll be like, hey, man, what's up? And he's going to be like, you definitely cannot get in it.
You said Brian was going to be here.
Yeah, where's Bryon?
Actually, Ryan will probably get a ride.
True.
Bryon will get a ride.
No, you would, Ryan.
No, Bryon will, and I'll be on the ground going, and Bryon will be up in the helicopter going, I hate every minute of this.
I'm feeling anxious.
All right. Let's move on. Let's move on to Eric. Eric, I want to hear what your favorite things were.
Aaron,
And you guys sent me photos. Should I show some photos too? What you like? You sent.
Aaron's not going to listen to what I have to say. Well, whatever. No, that's actually on the way home. That's Bryon and Aaron in the front seats of the Comanche, and flying over some real pretty clouds. And that was the smooth part of the flight. The last hour and a half kind of sucked. It was really bumpy getting back into Texas. But my favorite thing is just like everyone says to people, it's amazing how nice everybody is, and that's one of the walkos. I shot 12 walk-around videos in 2 days. When we got there Sunday, yeah, it was pretty sporty. When we got there Sunday, that was that right there, and we're just walking around, kind of get a feel for the land as far as what's where and all that stuff. And everybody was still kind of setting up, so I didn't even have my mindset as far as how I'm going to approach anybody for doing a walk-around video just yet, because I was just trying to soak in, where everything was. And that's Jim Tobel there with the Corsair with the Korean War hero. That one goes live on my channel tomorrow at 8 a.m. And
you notice how we expertly weaved that plug in, like we planned it? That was a great plug.
By the way, no, Jim did such a good job, and I've been wanting to do a Corsair walk-around video for a long time. My buddy Scott Glover's got one, and I know the CF has got theirs and stuff, but it's one of my favorite airplanes. So I wanted to make sure that I paired up with somebody that just has got a buttload of time in it. And Jim Tobel was a perfect match for it, So he and I were texting beforehand and setting it up, just like Tom Richards with the P40 and so forth. And that right there was the BF-109. That was one of the ones I really wanted to do a walk around on. And Dr. Winters, I think, is the guy that owns that. He also owns Happy Jack's Go Buggy. I'd like to do a video on that one too, but that airplane, that BF-109, is just gorgeous. So we kind of have a play date later on for me to go up there. I think they're in Illinois or something like that for me to go up there and shoot up there, which would be good because it'll be in a more controlled environment, which is more focused on the airplane, which is kind of nice. I don't know which airplane that is. It's my first time to ever see that one. But we got there, and we're walking around saying, "Oh, they're scrappy." So we're looking around for Mike or Mark or anybody, and no one's around because everyone's still setting up. So I text Mike and I go, "Hey man," I go, "Bryon and I found Scrappy, and we're kind of tired from walking." I go, "We noticed you got a couple motorcycles coming. Can we borrow those things?" And he starts laughing. He was on some commercial flight to go wherever. Mike Petty was being Mike Petty, busy, always back to work. But it was cool. That was my first time to see Scrappy, so that was kind of cool. And that's Tom Richard and the P40. That P40 is so new. It's got 26 hours on it, either 26 or 28 hours. Yeah, it's a brand new restoration. It's got two seats. Box. Yeah, it's got that new P40 smell. But he did a really good job in that. He actually does instruction in the P40 at his facility in Florida. And I think it's Florida. He moved. I think it's really cool guy. I've been wanting to meet him and Jim Tobel for a long time, so that was kind of special, being able to spend some time with them for a little bit. And that P40 is a two-seater. It's actually got controls in the back, and he goes over that in the walk-around, but that's a beautiful, beautiful airplane. And,
dude, it's like everybody, like Kyle, this guy, this guy, whoever that is.
Michael Brown. He's one of the few pilots that constantly does those Bell 47 rides that you see flying all the time. And he is a wealth of knowledge on the Bell 47, and just he's got a lot of time in general. And he's been doing that for, I think, like 25 years, something. I mean, and those Bell 47s are immaculate. I mean, walking around, I mean, they are so clean and so well maintained. It is unbelievable. And that's 1930, 40. That's about 1940s technology, I think. You know, everybody knows it from MASH, but it's an older helicopter and it was developed way before the Korean War. But it's it's amazing how well maintained those airframes are.
So what was as I click through these other photos though, like, I mean, obviously you made a ton of content, it sounds like, but was there like a single highlight for, I mean, look at this, I mean, beautiful, that's a famous replica, right? But
yes, yeah,
or
yeah,
became a famous replica. But yeah, go ahead.
So.
Sorry.
Yeah. Oh no, that's okay. It's just oh man, so there's so many. You know, just everywhere you turn, there's nice people, and the special moment for me, what was really cool, is walking around with all you other YouTube guys. Since I'm not in my videos, I don't get recognized. And walking around with Bryon and Josh and you and just everybody else, I'm like, oh hey, I know you, and nobody knows who I am, and I'm okay with that. It's so neat to be around you guys, seeing y'all get recognized and stuff. And I was walking by through a Boeing Plaza, and there's an A10 in there, and it was the blacked out A10. And I remember seeing pictures of this thing when it was coming out of the paint shop, and I was like, man, that's such a sick looking paint job. And there it was. So I walked up. There was a line to chat with the pilot. And there was a father and son right in front of me in line. So we were, shooting the bull and stuff, and, where are you from, this, that, whatever. So we get up there talking to him, and they're asking a few questions. The son's kind of really inquisitive. He's kind of happy to be there and stuff. And I get up there, and I'm just curious for my own self-gratification. I ask the pilot, because I go, have you by chance happened to see the walk around, the A-10 walk around video? And the pilot looks at me and goes, is that yours? And I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, I've seen it. And the son of the father and son, the son looks at me and he goes, did you make the A-10 walk around video? And I go, yeah. He goes, I love that video. I fly that thing on DCS all the time, and that thing helped me out. And so that was my moment of, recognition, if you will. And it was really cool.
You mentioned a cool thing there, which was the oh, hey guys, welcome back.
Oh, Eric's
hey guys,
I was joking, Eric. You didn't have to stay.
You mentioned the cool that thing, the taking off thing. You mentioned that, which was I thought we were just gonna go all hang out with our fans, and then it turned into like a TV episode or something. But so thank you, Dan Milliken's getting a lot of shout outs this episode, but thank you, Dan, for doing that and for inviting all of us. That was so cool, right? Like, it was so cool to see everybody and to meet everybody and meet new people. We were joking how we're like the old people, and like the TikTok people were there, and anyway. Sorry, what were you gonna say, Bryon?
For some perspective, a group of me, Martin, Polly, Dan, Corey, Robin had talked about doing a meet and greet like we did last year. Martin does this speech every year. Last year we just kind of loitered outside his event, and we said, hey, we're going to be here, meet us. And then Corey and Dan, being super professional, were like, wait a minute, why don't we get a pavilion? And I was like, great, why don't you guys run with it? I did my part. I said, hey, I got an idea. So we were on the stage, and all of us were like, what's the plan? Like, what do we do?
Yeah.
There was.
I was like, right, does anyone know what we're doing? Like, I think Dan's just going to drive. Just let him drive. I'm like, okay, if I have to say anything in this microphone, I might throw up. Like, this is not my forte. But so, then, it was like, so we found out, while we were up there, what the plan was. It turned out so much fun. The audience was amazing. The people on stage were amazing. That was certainly a highlight. But it was really funny just looking at Baron Pilot and going, Do you know? You don't have any information, Corey? No one, Josh? So we're just here. We don't know why, but it worked out perfectly. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was an honor to be included in that. If I'm honest,
We hope you'd
Like-
say that. We're like, should we include Ryan? He'll think it's an honor.
He'll think it's an honor. It was cool to be included, and a lot of great questions from the crowd about all different parts of aviation. A lot of people want to start their own YouTube channels. It sounds like.
Dan's screaming in the comments, "You knew the plan. I knew that you had a plan."
I had no idea what the plan was. Most of us didn't.
You have wait. Let me find Bryon. You sent pictures of that. Let me find.
See, the crowd's very small. We were far from the crowd. We were
really far from the crowd. Wait, is it this one? No, that's you guys flying.
It was Aaron and I.
I know.
Keep throwing pictures up, and I'll try to keep.
What? Wait, what is this though? What is?
I dropped my camera, and I just thought that was a funny photo. So I sent it to you. This is what it would look like if I had to go to the bathroom at an air show in the field. I don't know. But I literally.
We're
dropped
gonna
my
find
camera.
this picture. Oh wait, I gotta.
The
You sent
seaplane
them all.
area was
Diving crowd.
I did like the seaplane area. Very pretty.
We're eventually gonna find. Oh, there's more seaplanes. Very chill over there.
It is.
That's where you want to have lunch.
Yeah, we'll have lunch there.
We'll have
next
lunch
year.
there next year. Not that the food's great, but the environment is.
Mhm.
Captain Joe!
Oh, you know, name dropping.
Wait, that's not Josh Flowers?
No.
I had
You
to
can
I
tell
just
by
thought
the
Josh
accent,
Flowers was
like,
finally
walk
looking
up.
like an adult as opposed to like a
No,
12-year-old.
Bryon always says people are the nicest guy, but I think for real, Captain Joe is the nicest. Joey, excuse me.
We had lunch with him, and like, if you've met the guy for 5 minutes, he's the real deal. Much like you guys, everybody's the real deal.
Wait, here we go. Here we go.
There's SoCal Flying Monkey, and
Yep.
the guy from Finer Points,
Jason
what's his
Miller,
name?
yep. Yep, Jason
and
Miller.
Ryan from SuperAero Live.
He's
He
a
does a
nice
live
guy.
show on Saturday night.
He's a doula.
Yeah, he is. He'll
The
put you in a
doula.
black hawk whether you want to.
Oh, hello.
I love that you just go into the we found the beer coffin.
Uh-huh.
So wait, how can I ask? Because I'm a little peeved off about this. Because you guys, so if people, I got loud. Sorry, I felt aggressive. What's going on? Why are we? Who's that coming? Oh,
took my
it's
earbuds out. You
he
wanna
took
put-
his earbuds out. So I get
There we go.
Bryon, you and I went searching for the beer coffin last year. We did not find it. It's back.
It's back, and it's awesome. So I am not going to tell anyone where it is because I don't think you're supposed to. But if you go to Oshkosh, somewhere in the woods, there is a tent. And in that tent is a coffin, and next to that coffin is a man. And that man is really funny. And he has a coffin, and he opens it up, and it's full of beer. You, in theory, are supposed to bring a beer and take a beer. People from all over the land have brought beer from their parts of the world. And we didn't bring a beer, but he has spares for people who don't have their own beer. So this is Aaron just
So
taking
we
it.
took a beer.
We took a beers.
So it's an I have to go back.
Yeah.
Because
Next
that's
year she
an
has to go
IOU.
back and deposit a beer.
Two.
But so you go there, and he does this.
I don't know where my camera is.
He does this full on blessing, which is like I think it's the
It's like the Lord's Prayer.
The Lord's
he
Prayer, but it's
changes it.
all beer related, and it's really funny.
And Jesus turned water into wine, so I'm sure he gets a kick out of it.
Probably. But so Ryan, Eric, next year, I know where it is. Someone that I knew, he's still
Dana.
Dana.
He's
my
still
friend Dana.
alive.
He goes, I'm at the beer coffin. I found it. They're doing it again. And I said, drop me a pin. We dropped what we were doing, and we made a beeline for it and had a beer from out of there. It's fantastic.
That's cool.
That's a cool shot. It's gonna be like the last shot I click.
Oh, this is my
here we
favorite.
are.
Oh my God, I love this picture.
I don't know who the guy is with the bald head, but that's me and Aaron and Ryan,
I'm trying to make it bigger.
Mr. Mark Patey.
Oh, it's covering you guys up though. Wow, this is pro level.
He makes airplane tugs. Did you know that?
I did. Yeah, he gives oh, careful. He makes the best tugs.
What a good looking shirt I'm wearing in that photo.
Oh,
Hold on.
how
Where's my
many
hat?
How many do you have?
A little you lower your eyebrows a little bit.
This
Not
is
too
where
far.
we arrived.
Yeah. I think you're about there. Yeah, that's good. That was good. I look
Can you
drunk,
screenshot
but
this?
I
Can you
wasn't.
screenshot this? I look like a ventriloquist.
Someone screenshot that and
Screenshot
put
it,
that-
and I'll make it my profile photo somewhere.
all right. I'm
Yeah.
sure someone got it. That's where you spent a lot of time.
Oh, it's true. It kept calling us.
Oh,
There it is. I knew it was
There
like
it
the
is.
last photo.
I'm glad you got a shot of that.
Yeah, look
What,
at that.
out of all the forums at that time, wasn't that one the most attended?
That's what we're saying.
I
Yeah.
think. Cool. I thought I heard that somewhere.
600,000 people were there. A lot of them in the back disguised as bushes, but I mean, and somewhere in the back is Dirtbag Pilot from. I called him out in a TikTok video.
Yeah.
Way in the back.
Is that the bearded guy?
The dude with the big beard. He's so.
Oh my
awesome.
gosh!
Can you
Like,
see him in there?
fit best beard I've ever seen.
I posted a video of him on TikTok from this, and like the first comment was, "I just want to take a nap in his beard." I was
Oh
like,
my goodness! Like, I'm not much
Yeah,
of
he's got a
beard
good beard.
you folks in the comments, if you're on TikTok, go look for
dirtbag.
Pilot. Tell him I sent you.
He's great. Fire Pilot's all right, but Dirtbag's the real deal.
Fire Pilot's kind of a dirtbag. That's the thing. It's
No.
real weird.
I think, and he's gonna be mad. I think he's still in the chat. Fire Pilot, I think, is gonna be on next week. We're gonna learn about being a firefighter and a pilot, two separate things that he does.
Oh, nice.
It's
so
committed
happy
now.
to
We
know.
called it out. And apparently, there's a better photo of the panel that you're supposed to. So Dan sent it to you, Brian, and you have to send it to me, and I have to put it in the stream. Dan
Don't
could
mind
just
me.
Nothing.
Nothing to see here. Okay, so we talked about the people. We talked about these great experiences we got to meet. For me, part of it was like meeting all the new people, right? Like meeting Fire Pilot, meeting Fly Me to the Fun, seeing Bruno and his wonderful wife.
Super
So
nice.
great to see
Hey,
them.
Bruno's cool.
And like like you said, Brian, about it being the family reunion. That's it. Like we've spent almost no time. If it weren't for Eric, we would have spent no time talking about planes this entire episode so far. But I want to dig in a little bit, like planes specifically. You guys talked a little about you too. Eric, you go first. Like coolest thing you saw, airplane nerd.
Oh, coolest thing. It would have been the MiG-29, but I think they got there the day after we came home, and that was just luck, bad luck. But coolest thing, man, golly, probably the U-2 was probably there's so much there. You know, when I was walking around the booth, the displays, and I went by the Waco booth, I saw the Junkers out there, and of course, you know, you see all these beautiful Wacos, and you see this Junkers, and it's like, why is that there? I mean, that it's so out of place. So I walked up, and this was Monday, so people were still kind of setting up, whatever, you know. And I go, a buddy of mine, Philip Prinzing, really big-time aviation photographer over in Switzerland, shot this. And he goes, no, he shot the other one. And I was like, oh, okay. And I go, but I recognize the airplane. I didn't know what kind of one. I knew it was a Junkers because it says so on it. But I go, so we started talking about it. And that was the one in Switzerland was the first one. This here is the second one, and there's a third one being made. They're all brand new airplanes, but they're being made from original plans. And I didn't know this, but Waco and Junkers are now combined companies. So it's got a Pratt & Whitney. I think it's got a 450 horsepower radial engine on it, 4-person club seating in the fuselage, and 2 pilots up front in an open cockpit. It's such a weird, cool-looking airplane. I go, man, can we do a walk-around video on this? And he goes, absolutely. And he, Mike Hartman was the guy's name, if I remember correctly, that guy there. And we did that. They also make the Great Lakes biplane, and we did the Waco YMF-5. Yeah, and he's really good on camera. He did a really good job. But we spent extra time on the Junkers because of how unique it was. And that's a very thick wing on it. You can tell kind of from that picture, but I mean, the wing root on that thing is massively thick. But the whole thing's corrugated. What's that?
That's what I was going to say. It's all corrugated. They make it out of that recycled Rimowa luggage, right?
Probably. Well, it's corrugated. It's supposedly really
the worst joke I've ever told in my life.
No, it's corrugated. It's similar to like the Ford Tri-Motor, so it's a really, really strong airplane.
Sorry. Okay, so that was a cool airplane thing. That was cool to see. Brian, Aaron, you tell me in a second, but first I want to... Dan, Milliken, I know you don't have my phone number. We'll get it sorted out. I was just making fun of it.
I just in your phone number. See network.
You don't have my... Could you send it, though? Could you send me the...
I just sent it to him.
No, to me.
You want
the picture
Dan's
he
phone
sent
number?
you're supposed to...
Phone number.
Oh, well, that's
Actually,
good.
I'll type both of you guys' phone numbers in the chat. Why not make it easy?
Yeah, just do that. Just do that. And that weird person talking about Pizzagate or whatever can.
Milliken has your phone number.
People are still talking about that. A couple people in the chat had other favorite airplane things. Waka with the jet engine. Twin Beach was amazing. Grace says that. Yeah, I think you're talking about the Twin Beach aerobatic thing with Kyle Franklin.
Matt
right?
Youngkin.
Matt Youngkin.
Matt Youngkin. Yeah.
Kyle Franklin's the jet biplane.
No, his dad was back in the day. I can't remember who's flying it now, but he used to be the Jack Links sponsor. But Kyle did the black and silver Super Cub, the drunk guy routine. He goes up
That's
there,
right.
steals it. Oh, and I GoPro'd that up, and that footage I'll try to send you guys a sneak peek link for that thing. He is busy in that cockpit.
I can't wait to see it.
So I just want to point out something.
He's going full deflection and stop on the throttle and to get that Cub to do all kinds of stuff. I mean, but that's what I wanted to show. And hanging out with Kyle was one of the more special things because I've been wanting to meet him for a long time. And he's a very down to earth guy.
You, I think, had a picture of him in there, but that we clicked through. Let's see who else. Oh, Fly Chucky Fly says the coolest thing had to be that Bonanza Comanche hitting the green dot.
Oh, Bonanza! They were calling us a Bonanza.
Like egg him on.
There's still
That was
a
really
mark
cool.
in that dot where I cracked the concrete. Eric, do you have to see a chiropractor after that landing? Because I've got to go visit mine.
So,
He caught all three wires on the carrier on that landing. It was a perfect landing though. It really was.
The next day, Bryon picked me up from Appleton. I commercialed in, and then we were supposed to hit the yellow dot.
It was like they were like, hey, if you want to hit a dot,
like, the hell with the yellow
If
dot.
you want it to-
We're gonna land here, and it was we.
if the plane's reusable, even if the runway's not, but the plane can fly again. Yeah, we missed the dot on the second one, but she got to experience the Fisk approach.
There is not a canvas of our landing.
See, and that's weird because you're his wife, so you think he would care
You would think, right?
a lot about that.
I assumed she would be asleep. I knew Eric would be
Every
judging me.
canvas we have a family photos. I've ordered, but
So
he expedited that, I believe. So
I'm gonna steal the show for just a second and ask a question. So on the flight home, one thing that hasn't come up, we ran out of gas.
What?
Oh, I forgot about that.
where you walked in,
crap.
you wanted the two.
So I have a question for I have a question for Eric. You started asking. So okay, so we learned on the way home that one of my gas gauges is wrong.
What?
No biggie.
Right.
We're 53 minutes into the stream, and just now you're like, oh, by the way, you ran out of gas on the way home.
It's not the first time it's happened.
No, but guys,
Or the only
She
plane.
was asleep. So I want to lead into another question, and I kind of want to ask this to Eric. So she was asleep. I was doing the math. I'm a big math guy, and I know how much fuel. I don't have a fuel flow indicator or a fuel flow. What's it called? That tells me how many gallons per hour. I know the book says somewhere between 12 and 14, and I've done the math. But so I was like, okay, I'm burning 12 gallons per hour, and I was like, man, but I must be doing really, really good because it shows I have half a tank in my right auxiliary tank. So I was like, no need to switch. So the engine quit. She woke up
No
real
biggie.
fast. And but what's funny is both of them were. She woke up and I was like, "Okay, guys, we've got a problem." I was like, "There's probably gunk in the line or something." Like the first inclination was not to switch tanks; it was like to figure out what I'm going to do. And but I was more stressed out. Both of them were probably like Eric. I looked back and you just kind of were like, "Whatever." And Aaron woke up, and I'm like, "How come I'm the only one freaking out?" But then I switched. I pulled the throttle out, and then I switched the tanks. And I was like, "I'm going to throttle back up." And Eric's like, "Well, that seems like a pretty logical idea." But I was like, in my mind, the engine started to die, which means it was at idle. And I pulled the throttle out, and nothing bad continued to happen, other than the engine still wasn't doing what it's supposed to do. So I switched tanks, and I was like, "Well, pulling the throttle out didn't break it, so I guess I'll put it back in. My question to Eric is this: about an hour later, we were in some pretty severe turbulence. Was it the cliche light chop, moderate chop, or whatever? It was hot. It was 100 degrees. We were passing through Oklahoma. And it was getting bumpy, and you started asking questions that made me think you might be really getting nervous. You were like, "Hey, on that flight you took from Kentucky that you said was really the worst flight you'd ever had. Was this worse than that one, or was that worse than this?" You kept asking questions, and I kept thinking, I think Eric's nervous back there. Were you getting kind of nervous back there? It was rough.
No. I was just curious in comparison, because I remember you saying how bad that one was, and this one it was the bump. I mean, we had a couple big bumps, but it was just constant, and that's why I was like, hey, if you had to compare, which one was worse,
Okay, I was worried about you because
Can I answer that question?
Yeah.
I
What's
did
that?
not pray or cry on this flight, and so the Kentucky one was a hell of a lot worse.
Oh, wow.
Wow. The Kentucky one, and I do think like this plane is more solid. That one just felt like the plane was going, like, I don't know if you can see, like it felt like it was going to flip. Like we kept hitting stuff and it felt like it was going to flip. Yep, just like those people.
it felt like it was going to go.
It did. And so I was reading the book, and I literally closed the book, and I just.
Oh God! Here we go. We're going over.
So I just, and I don't know, but I was crying. I was crying Christmas when you tried to kill me.
You pray and cry a lot around me.
Well, only in plane. So, but that one, I was trying not to throw up, and I was praying because I don't want to orphan.
I feel better because I was worried that Eric was nervous back there, and so I was like, I don't know if that was his way of indicating to me that he's not feeling good. Maybe I should have said, hey, how are you? Should we land?
I should have been holding the bag going.
Well, I'm just trying to be more in tune.
It's like Bane, like everything's fine.
Yeah. The land until stop and bite.
You had to rate this one.
No, I was fine. I was just
okay.
I was really impressed with Aaron. Because you and I, we do this stuff all the time, but Aaron, granted, she flies a lot with you as well, but still, she had her head buried in her book or whatever, and I was just like, she was a champ, man. She I was like, golly, way to go.
Someone in the chat is calling you out, Bryon. Flying Midwest Podcast.
Love those guys. Those guys are awesome.
Hey guys, I'll be on your podcast. I'm desperate for attention. Come have me on your they said, Bryon, I swear you talked about how you weren't gonna do that before you left.
Wasn't gonna do what?
Run out of gas.
Well, I didn't run out of gas. I've got 4 tanks. I have good. Don't look at our bank.
He had more.
I want to rewind this stream because literally the words out of your mouth were, I ran out of gas. I know. I'm just arguing with semantics.
Everywhere. If you check my bank account, we had a lot of money on that. Gas on that plane. We hold 90 gallons, and those auxiliary tanks only hold 15. But I was like, man, we're not doing like the gauge. I'm like, we're not burning much fuel at all. This is great. We were.
It is amazing how fast that gets your attention now.
Yeah, the engine stopping. It does. It's like, oh, I'm not going to let that go.
Once you unexpectedly become a glider pilot, it's amazing how intensely aware of everything you are at that second.
But now that
we should have opened with that. I'm going to change the title of this to Just Plain Silly Ran Out of Gas at OSH22. Also, Eric is here, and Aaron.
Just Plain Silly tried to kill Eric.
Just Plain Silly tried to kill his wife on the way home from Oshkosh.
So, Eric, and I don't mean to interview everybody, but Eric, this is the first time you've been to Oshkosh since '99.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Did you fly? We flew the Fisk approach when you came. Okay, I put the video up. I don't know if you watched it. Maybe you do.
Yes,
but
I did.
You were there.
I watched the video. It was a great video.
Live or on camera?
So that was, how did you feel about that? Like, the biggest issue that I felt on there was, I feel like we did our brief. We did everything right. But people in front of us were so slow, like it was causing me stress. How did you feel going in on that Fisk approach?
Well, I think you did great. The biggest, the first thing was that tiger moth that cut us off, and tiger moths are really slow. It's a World War II British training biplane. It's draggy, So when he pulled us in, and I go, dude, you may want to go around him, and you did perfect. We kept him in sight. We went around, and who knows how many people passed that guy? Because he to go balls out, he's got to be just going 60, 70 knots. I don't know if he can do 90.
He still hasn't made it to Ripon
yet. He's probably still in line for next year. And
yeah.
It's a good airplane, but still, it was cool once you got in line. Once we got in line and just maintaining the space, but it is a domino effect. If one guy slows down, then all of a sudden it's amazing how quickly you catch up to them. But you did great. We're flying dirty, flaps down, gear down, and just, pull the throttle, and it's just, gets a little more distance, and so throttle back up. But it's always in the back of your mind, how are they handling it behind us?
Sure.
So, but it was really neat, and I don't remember a lot about in '99 about the arrival there, because we had some other stuff go on, but while we were there. But I remember landing in the T6. And right when we exited to the left into the grass, the DC-3 went right behind us. And I was like, man, that was close, And so I remember that. And then, but the arrival in '99, I don't remember a whole lot. I remember when we left, one of the Sky Raider guys joined up with us in the T6 and for about 5 minutes, and then, waved off, and that was pretty cool. But doing it this time and getting the gear squared away out of Whiteside, going up, picking up some speed, getting in between the layers. That was really nice, and it was relaxing too. And finding that perfect hole, and we just spiraled down, came down, got in line, and right when we got in line, you could hear everybody say, "Okay, start the line out further to the next point." And while we're doing the physical arrival, they said, "Okay, we're down to one runway." We're like, "Okay, we're kind of wrapping our head around that." Then a few minutes later, okay, both runways are back open again. So it's neat to see how quickly they handle all the traffic. Just all the situations. If you got to shut a runway down, who knows how bad it is. So you just kind of keep your fingers crossed and say a silent prayer for that dude, and whatnot, and runway's back open, so it must not be that bad. So, but it was fun. It was really, really cool. I was with a really good pilot though, so that helped out.
I'll tell you what, I've only done it solo, and having a second pair of eyes, I don't know that I would do it solo again. It was so much better to be like, I don't see him, and you're like, I got like that whole sort of two of us looking out for traffic made a huge difference. So I would say anyone who's watching this, who's thinking about flying the Fisk approach, bringing a friend, who's got a second pair of eyes or whatever. Don't bring a blind Flynn. I don't know where I'm going with this. Bring a friend.
I was shocked at how long it took us to really start seeing other traffic, how close we had to get before we started. And before you knew it, we were in line. And we hadn't really seen that much traffic. Like maybe a plane or two. I was expecting to see more, just, as we were all converging to the bridge. I was just, all of a sudden it's like, there's this guy, cut us off, go around him, boom, we're in line. It's like, wow, that's fast.
When I think one of the good things, and I didn't do it, I should have done it, is once you find your buddy that you're following, because that's the thing is everyone's looking on ADSB trying to find a gap. And then we're down at port. It's like once you find your guy, it's probably good to turn the iPad off, because I know I kept looking down and being like, oh my God, there's planes everywhere. But really, it's just that guy. Like, just follow this guy. It doesn't matter who's coming from the south or whatever direction. Just follow the guy you got. This is your buddy. Keep a mile distance and you'll be fine. And so that's one of the things, probably if I fly it again, it'll be like, okay, once I've got my guy, the iPad's gone. So, and that's what they were saying on the radio too.
Yeah, ignorance is bliss, right? Like all that ADSB stuff gets like stressful.
It doesn't matter who's behind you. There's nothing I can do about it.
Unless they,
it's completely useless at that point because your eyes outside the cockpit.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. Turn it off.
But I had a great time. I'm really, really glad that we got to go do that together, Eric. That was such a we will remember that forever. So
I will definitely. I appreciate you letting me go. That was fun.
I don't know how long will you remember the approach that Eric and I did into. I'll remember the one we did.
Yeah, the one.
Never going to forget this.
Well, Aaron can always watch it on YouTube.
I gotta print out like the slam
Into just the
30 feet away from the yellow dot.
I'll give you a photo of it. I'll give you a video clip.
So
You know what you could do, Bryon, is you could get a TV screen that has like it playing as a loop for Aaron. It could be a loop like of the slam and go.
I'll just make it a never-ending live on my channel and be like, "This."
Yeah.
We need to find somebody really better at Photoshop than me and get a picture of an aircraft carrier with a Comanche on the deck crashed on a green dot on the carrier deck.
That's the next national stole competition I'll be announcing is the Comanches on the Nimitz.
The USS Stoll.
USS. Yeah. Dudes, we could probably talk for another whole hour, but it's been an hour of tomfoolery already.
I'm good. So y'all can keep going, but I think I may check out.
Can I say one thing? Can we talk about how good the bands at SOS were this year? Like
no, because no one cares.
Oh.
No, you can talk about that. Whatever.
I was so hoarse the next day trying to scream over the band.
Good.
So good.
It was good though. Yeah.
Want that. This has been fun. Thanks for having me on, Ryan. Y'all.
It's not.
Are you literally leaving? Are you going?
Oh, yeah.
See, I told you she's got a limited window with. It's puppy talk now.
A puppy. Maybe
It's just like Zelda. Her hearts were just replenished by a puppy.
I got two of them here.
Who is this, Eric?
Those are his
This
dogs.
is Luna and Evie. Luna and Evie.
Evie?
My kids' pups. Luna and Evie.
Oh, so cute.
And the cat's here now, so they're gone.
Okay.
So in the chat, people are upset we're not talking about the RV-15.
Talk about it. Y'all have fun.
Aaron's like, I need to go.
Peace out. Taking the beer.
So real quick, dogs want to talk about RV-52. Before Sierra is validating you, Bryon, that the bands at SOS were awesome. They played Highway to the Danger Zone like 4 times one night though, and I was like, we get it, we're pilots. So RV-15, real quick, because I think I could do a whole show just on the RV-15 and what we know about it now, what we've seen about it. Is that something you guys care about? Or is that your part of aviation, experimental bush planes? Because otherwise we can save it. I'll give my few reactions and then we can move on. But
I think it's cool that they're doing it. I feel like most of the complaints I've seen are about the wheels side, like silly stuff. Like what? Like I don't know. I feel like people who are getting mad or pretending to be mad about it. Like, oh, they're deviating from what they normally do. I think it's great. A lot of people like high wing airplanes. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree.
I like those big.
I don't know.
Pools.
I don't know enough about it to bitch about it yet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's kind of hard to cast judgment until you educate yourself about it. And it was swarmed. I mean, every time I walk by, there's people all over the thing. And aesthetically, I look at it and it doesn't knock my socks off. But then again, I've flown in other airplanes and that are that way, but they perform great, but they may not be the prettiest in the world. So who knows? It might be a great performing airplane. I don't know. I don't know that much about it to go, oh, it sucks, it's great, or whatever. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it was really interesting. We saw it for the first time just before, and it's a lot of people in the chat are Vans builders and stuff, and they're curious about it. I'll say a couple words, and I think we will probably do an episode soon about it. Either I'll do a solo one, or maybe you guys can all email Vans and tell them that Greg should come back on the show, and we could talk RV-15. But basically, like it's big. It's a big plane. Without like going through all the things we learned, the things that I thought were exciting about it is there's a lot of technology in it. That aircraft had more attention than like major certificated aircraft manufacturers, which is kind of an interesting thing to see, like in the airplane market. But the technology of like the landing gear and seeing how that's working, seeing how they've built it big enough to put like mountain bikes in back is a cool thing. And And I think the one thing that was really interesting to see, two little things about it. One is you talk about aesthetics. Talking to the folks at Vans, they talked about, it's just a test article, so aesthetically it may change, right? They may extend the front, slope the windscreen a little bit more to make it a little more like Vansy, right? Like a little more
well, and also
aesthetic.
It's metal with the white cowling. I mean, it's from a colorful approach. It's not at all.
Yeah, so I mean, it's too early for that, right? You can't even see how it looks with paint on it. Yeah.
Yeah. You find a wicked looking paint scheme to put on that thing, and it might go, wow, that thing looks really cool now.
So the really interesting thing that I thought was going up to the aircraft. It's a test pilot airplane, right? So they're like there are little Sharpie marks all over it of like the test pilot like writing stuff, like, and the one was the flaps. The flaps go all the way down to 50 degrees.
Jeez. Wow. It's like Corsair.
That's like drop them if you got them, right? And like what was interesting was it was the flap settings and the X degrees this mile per hour, X degrees this mile per hour, like whatever, like whatever they were, and then it was like 50 degrees and it just said oh crap. and I was like, dude, yeah, there's another side of it where he had written like four things, like like one was like a thing his wife told him, the test pilot, the thing his wife told him, whatever, like be safe, whatever, and then and I wish I had written it down, but it was something like if it doesn't feel right, it ain't right, like it's just like a reminder, like if it feels wrong, it is wrong, like put it down get it on the ground and figure it out. So it was really cool to see a prototype plane. It was really cool to see that. I'm excited for them. It's big. It's weirdly enough for me, maybe too big. Like I think I'm more of a smaller plane guy. Yeah, like I want to burn less. Like I don't know. I'm in a place.
Is this still an LSA?
No, I don't think it will be.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
No, they said they're exploring like 2+2. Oh, Marty was here. Bye, Marty. Marty's like, see ya.
Well, it might be an LSA again if they raise the weight thing on the LSA stuff.
Yeah, there's that whole LSA thing that we could change. Yeah. That's a whole nother show. Who can I talk to about that? We got to learn more about that. But yeah, RV-15 was really cool to see. I think there's other things that were worth seeing at the show, right? Like other aircraft manufacturers as well, but the RV-15 clearly stole the show. Sonics had their 2-seat side-by-side sideways jet thing. That's cool to see. Sling had their high wing, all experimental. And then going over to I went and saw Sharon over at Diamond and got to see like the DA-50 whatever.
Those are pretty cool airplanes.
That thing's totally sick, right? Like
the DA62, the twin engine, it's got the diesel engines on it, so it takes jet fuel, and it's technically got 6 seats, but the 2 seats in the far back are kind of snug, so like small kids. But you could load that thing on a hot day, if I remember correctly, load it up with gas, people, bags, everything, fuel, everything, and it'll go okay. It'll still fly.
Yeah, and you too could have that flexibility for like $5 million or however much they cost.
Whatever it is, yeah.
They're expensive. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, yeah, come for the planes, stay for the people, I think is the moral of the story this week. And it was really cool to have the family reunion with everybody, and to for me, a little memory was my daughters came up for the first time to their first air venture, and we went into the show barely went into the show Friday. We camped for the first time as a family in a brand new tent. Thank you, by the way, to my friends at the campsite who helped me get the tent set up. Like, did the worst thing ever, like literally like cutting the box open, like, let's get in this tent, kids. Dad of the year. But they, we did that, and then like that was Saturday, and then Sunday. My wife went home, and the kids and I went to Kid Venture for like half a day, and like they made little model airplanes, and they learned about 3D printing and like all this cool stuff, and they were just like over the moon. And Sunday, everyone's like, ugh, Sunday. Sunday was great. There's like no one. It was like reduced crowds. The kids could just do their kid thing. Like, my daughter was like, I want to go to the museum. And we went to the museum and checked that out. So just a really cool like core memory build thing as a dad. So I don't know. Lots of cool things to do. Oh, we'll finish on a funny story. I don't know if you guys saw this. So we're hanging out in the museum. The Voyager plane, the one that flew around the world without stopping. We're standing there looking at it, and this guy walks to me and he's like, how did 2 people fit in there? And I was like, yeah, man, I have a lot of questions. And he's like, yeah, like, where did they, And I was like, yeah, where did they, That's a question. And then we're sitting there we're sitting by the thing, and he goes, is the museum always this busy? And I was like, oh, no, it's not. It's not. It's a special time of year. And he's like, oh, what's going on?
Brian and I
like,
got another.
It's the biggest air show in the world this week. And he's like, I thought there was a lot of traffic. Like, turns out this husband and wife were vacationing in, like, I don't know if they were driving through Wisconsin. I don't know the whole story. Vacationing through Oshkosh, and we're just like, oh, the EA museum, that's interesting. I like airplanes. Let us do that during AirVenture, and had no idea.
Wow.
They could have had such a better visit a week before or 2 weeks before.
It was Sunday, and I was like, hey, you guys, it's 2 p.m. Just like spend the money, get in the show. Like, it's half the people are gone or whatever, but like, there goes Erin.
In her pajamas.
In her pajamas, fired. Just go check it out. And they were like, no. Anyway, that's my closing thought. Gentlemen, this has been too long. Go ahead.
We were flying there, and we heard some. Were we on fingers or what? I can't remember. But anyways, we heard a bunch of pilot CB talk, and hey, hey man, how fast you going on this, that, whatever. And so I key up and I go, where's everyone going? And there's a pause, and the guy goes, Oshkosh. And I go, there's something going on in Oshkosh? And there's another pause, and the guy goes, and a few guys start to step on each other trying to answer the question, radio squealing and stuff. Yeah, like only like the world's biggest air show. And I go, really? I go, how many planes are going to be there? And the guy goes, some guy goes, have you never been to Oshkosh? And I go, yeah, I was just yanking your chain. And they start stepping on each other and laughing and whatnot. And I go, screw it, here's a great opportunity. And I go, have you guys ever heard of Just Plain Silly or Eric Johnson? They go, yeah. And then one guy keys up, he goes, Brian Turner, you're my hero. I wish we were rolling when that happened, because it was so cool.
I couldn't believe you. Like, it was hilarious. We were on 122.75. Eric just opened. I was like, "What are you doing?" I'm just like cracking up.
I've had both of you on the show before, so we'll continue to break. It's not Wednesday, so we can't do short final. But I will just say it's so awesome. It was so awesome to see you guys, and it was so awesome to spend time with you at the show and all of our other friends, old and new, the family. Like, it really felt like family. It feels like, you were right, it feels like a family reunion, and that was a cool thing. And I feel bad that it took me, not that I discovered that this year, but I feel bad that it took me so many years of going to Oshkosh before I found my Sky fam, right? And you guys are part of that, and so it's just really cool, and I appreciate you coming on today and chatting about all that stuff.
It was fun, man. Thanks for having us.
It was awesome. Yeah, thank you very much, Ryan. And Eric, thanks for flying to Oshkosh with me. It was awesome.
Dude, thanks for taking me. Golly.
It's been 24 years since you've been. Are you going to go back next year?
I want to. I really do, and it might be a toss up between that or Reno, because I've been wanting to do Reno as well. But Oshkosh is calling though. So
yeah, don't let a bunch of time pass again, man. It was just so awesome. I want to go back already.
Yeah, true. Man,
yeah, now at the end of this
so
week
much to do.
where I'm not, like, I was like severely fatigued Monday and Tuesday, but now that I'm like well rested, I can feel my legs again. I'm like, oh yeah, let's get going. Yeah,
I could have used another 2 weeks of shooting, and I was glad to leave when we did.
Yeah.
Because I was that tired. But there's so much to shoot. There's so much to do up there. Another 2 weeks, and I went to the SOS tent the first 2 nights. After that, I couldn't do it anymore just because I had to manage my energy because I think I was averaging like 30,000 steps a day or something like that.
It was an hour walk from. They put us in. They put us way out there, so it was an hour walk to SOS Brothers. But I'm a trooper.
Problems.
Before we sign off, I just want to say thanks to a couple other people. So we did the party Thursday night. You guys missed it because you flew away. We did the SuperAero Super Secret Party, which is a party for the Patreon supporters, the SuperAero Squadron, Skyfam, whatever we call them. And not only was it so great to see all of you that showed up at the show and were there for that and spent time with you guys, but also a lot of you helped throw the party. And that made my heart grow 3 sizes too. So you guys are cooking burgers, and some of you were shopping. And I mean, Ryan Krueger in the chat, he's not here tonight, but he puts it at holds it at his campsite every year. And so that's just a lot of generosity that gets thrown around too. So thank you for all of that. Thanks for everyone who supports the show. It's just it's a big love fest all week. And to have you guys, those of you that came up, we joked about the Black Hawk pilot before, but that was really cool that he came up and talked to us and recognized both of us.
That's
and mostly you, but a little bit me. And that's just really great because this is a hard thing we all do, to share this passion we have. It's not super easy, and so it's nice to have that week of rewarding where people are coming and letting you know that what you do matters. And so to everyone who did that all week and chatted with me and I guess with these guys too, thank you for doing that. That's a big thing. So anyway, that's my little emotional thing. It was a cool week and it was good to see everyone.
It was.
I guess we should end the show now.
Cut.
All right, if you're a Patreon supporter, come over check the Discord or whatever. There'll be a Zoom link. We can all hang out for the after show. Everyone else, thanks so much for watching. It's good to be back. It sounds like my new buddy the fire pilot's gonna be on the show next week. He said it on
Super
Facebook
nice
today. Super nice guy.
Awesome.
So he and I are going to work the detail for that. Probably be back to our regularly scheduled Wednesday nights next week. But just hit me up on the slide into the socials, and we'll figure that out. So everyone, fly safe. Bryon, fly safe. Eric, fly safe. Good to see you, buddies. Love you both. And everyone else, we'll see you next week at SuperAero Live.
Thanks for having me.
All right, see you
Hey,
guys.
Eric. Bye, Ryan.
Later.